Okay, so MGTOW concerns. Now, just a brief update. I'm working on an actual essay. I have a pretty good idea here. Women in HR, information MGTOWs need to know. I got it all laid out. I just need to mine some data and some citations. I already know the data. It's just getting the proof of it. You can take my word for it later on. But MGTOW concern, or concerns for MGTOW. Now, there are a few things I've noticed lately that make me want to make a sort of personal statement that will go to what all MGTOWs, even just general people, should take note of and be concerned with. I know, concern trolling. I guess you could say it's one, don't try to live up to others' expectations of you. In fact, having expectations of or for others is in general a bad idea. Trying to live up to anyone else's standards for you is ridiculous. It is akin to trying to live up to a woman's constantly changing standards. It involves dumb ideas like mind reading and being able to read someone else's spirit or the real them, whatever. Dumb ideas, HR people, women, and I guess a lot of people in general have. Sure, you may see, in quotes, see great potential in someone else, but expecting them to live up to what you want them to be is something that is doomed to backfire on you, especially if the person in question is not informed explicitly of your expectations for them in a clear manner. As is said in some circles, expectations are just planned resentments. Do not plan resentments or hate, especially of others, especially if you did not inform them of what you had planned for them, what you planned for them, right? In another video about willpower and success, a lot of successful people have intelligence and self-control, right? A lot of people who don't have self-control or impulsive, right, generally have a lower intelligence. But this does not mean you can't have an impulsive, successful person. This does not also mean you can't have a very intelligent person who is not very successful. But the best way for you to exercise willpower and self-control is not to dictate to yourself an expectation, right? Because if you like, I'm going to work out from 3 to 4 today, don't do that, because it builds up a resentment in yourself. Failing to meet your own set expectation subconsciously builds up a resentment in yourself. This is proven. And leads to less will or ability or drive to try to work out from 3 to 4 tomorrow. The better way to do something is to ask yourself if you will work out. Will I work out between 3 and 4? I don't know. You can't predict the future, and expectations are just planned resentments. Right? So it's good to have a plan, but it's even better just to have a goal. Right? They say successful people have very specific plans. It's more precise or exact to say they have specific goals. Right? And if they don't get around to working out between 3 and 4 that day, they don't hold it against themselves. They don't hold resentments against themselves because they don't make expectations of themselves. And this, oddly, leads to more willpower, more self-control, more success. Right? This kind of goes into my second point, my second concern, because I'm, I guess I'm concern trolling. 2, try to live your life for yourself. Do what makes you happy and you a better person. I said this years ago in that crazy town out west I lived in because I was given some bad advice, and wow, sure, you can watch silly things. You can watch trash television here and there. You can watch a terrible movie. You can go on a porn rampage. You can take a break from being a serious person. You can take a break. Right? It's no big deal, right? You can take a break from working out for a few days, weeks, even months. Once I injured my muscle on my shoulder blade, and I just had to stop working out for like 6-8 weeks. I mean, had no choice. I found other things to do, like educating yourself. You can take a break from educating yourself. You can take a break from building stuff, writing stuff, or just from being productive in general. I believe this is called a vacation. We all need vacations from time to time. I believe the Europeans have a very good system set up. In America, you're lucky if you get 2 weeks paid vacation. I believe in Europe it's mandatory you get 6. They probably have a better system laid out for the person not to experience burnout. I personally can stay focused at a very steady clip for about 6 months, dealing with all kinds of insane crap without needing a serious release or serious break. But after those 6 months pass, I need to let it all go and feed certain parts of my soul. Does this mean I have given up entirely or regressed completely? No. I know who I am and what I need to do to be happy. And I have always been this guy that takes 3 steps forward, then 2 steps back. To others it seems I leap forward into greatness, or whatever their dumb expectations are of me, and then slide back 2 steps. But I am always 1 step further into the better me. This is the way I've always been. People show a great deal of impatience, a great deal of expectational impulse control when they're dealing with others. Yes, it's very interesting. If you've ever been an athlete, if you've ever been a coach, martial arts and swimming especially, sometimes you got a student that just catches on quick and bam, and sometimes you don't. But then sometimes the student or athlete that catches on the slowest turns out being your best. Yes, don't resent someone because they didn't live up to what you wanted of them. That's unfair to them, and it puts us into the whole MGTOW related system of marriage and women being unhappy. Again, I'm not going to say you're acting like a woman if you're unhappy that someone else didn't live up to what you think they should have been for your own self-interest. But yet that is essentially the core thing, the legal reason cited by most women for divorce. I'm just unhappy. Why are you unhappy? Because I think he's not as good as I could do, or he's not the man I used to marry. Like that, I'm not going to say you're acting like a woman, okay? I'm just going to say it's a part of human nature that it's probably best for you if you don't have expectations of others, right? Live your life for yourself. Do what makes you happy, what makes you a better person, right? And try really hard to leave others out of it, and try really hard not to get up into other people's business. I understand we're a society, we're a group culture, we're based in primates, monkey culture, we're social animals, right? One of the primary reasons why objectivism and pure capitalism tends to fail, right? You know, a perfect example is Somalia, this free market paradise, this capitalist Shangri-La, right? Pure self-interest is a bad. Too much of anything is a bad thing. Pure self-interest leads to societal destruction, right? But getting up in everyone else's business and trying to manage other people to the point where you think you know what's best for them is also a bad system, right? Pure capitalism bad, pure communism bad, right? It's somewhere in the middle way, right? Pure love, too much love can destroy just as well as too much hate, right? You need to take the middle road, the combination, the mixed system. Now, I recently was told to engage in a serious task while juggling all the others I chose to have in my life. And what people 2 weeks ago told me was a complete contradiction of what they all told me to do a year ago, or they all suggested I do a year ago. So that logical inconsistency led me to a vacation. Additionally, several hours of my life was spent doing someone else's job for them. And I despise this profession. The only profession I despise more than the legal profession is the economics profession. The sheer contradictory nature of both of them, the sheer complex levels of BS in both of them is quite taxing on my soul. And during the course of this work, I came across factual data that meant the issues I've been dealing with for years now were not only never supposed to have happened in the first place, but were also patently and habitually illegal. On top of that, everything I had been telling people to do for the last several years was what they were supposed to be doing in the first place. So I had to make a decision what was the best way for me to soldier on. Well, since many were telling me to stop playing the victim, quote unquote, as if I was acting, they were also at the same time telling me to do it yourself, quote unquote. And so I decided not only to engage on a mission again, but I also decided to be the one that now gives the orders instead of taking them. And since all my orders have always been logical, reasonable, beneficial to all parties involved, just in what everyone should have been doing in the first place, I have decided, after 2 weeks of pondering, to don my commander's bars instead of just grunting it out. To this end, I took a vacation and engaged in copious amounts of gameplay, physical pleasure-based activities, and an unusual amount of video making. My vacation is up now, and thanks to all those that sparred with me online and those that sparred with me in person, the dopamine fix from both was sorely needed. So, to the end of concern number 2, I will say do whatever it takes to make you feel happy. Do whatever it takes to get your mind in a place where you can focus on your goal, on your mission, and accomplish it. whatever you have to do, whether it's legal research like the MRAs do, whether it's playing with females like the PUAs, or whether it's playing with video games like the MGTOWs. I did all three, and that's what was best for me. Whatever gives you the peace and center of mind you need to soldier on and live to fight another day, and never think you know what's best for someone else, right? Do whatever it takes for you to focus on your goal, soldier on, and live to fight another day. But never think you know what's best for someone else. Because when people start thinking they know the real you, or what is best for someone else, they stop working on what is best for them, for themselves. And they eventually get let down, and then they start flying planes into other people's lives. For example, many religious people think that a belief in God is what will make everyone's life better. But whose God? The Muslims' God? The Christians' God? Or the Jews' God? And once you start thinking your God is the better God for others, well, then you start flying planes into other people's lives to ironically prove your God's better. So what is best for you and what is best for others is for you to focus on yourself and try not to project your desires for someone else's life on to them. It is only going to become a planned hatred. And what you should try to avoid doing is planning hatred. Now 3. Stop trying to encourage the negative aspects of humanity. I understand that hurting others makes one feel better about themselves. I also understand that there is a great sense of power that is felt when one destroys things or people. But destruction is easy. It's creation that is hard. Remember, we are men. Men do the hard thing because it is hard, and not the easy thing. Women are the ones that do the easy thing and just lie there. Men are hard. Women are soft. Also, a decent human being is not afraid to ask for help, nor is he too hateful to offer help to others. There is a particularly positive sense of pride when a man does things on his own. But there is also a place for everything, and everything should be in its place. Maybe a person is just not in the right place or position. We should try to encourage others to find where they belong, to be most beneficial, not only to themselves, but to others. And no position in a spiritual, philosophical sense is better or worse than another. They are all just places to be. Remember, men can be human doings while also being human beings. No matter where you go, that's where you are. No matter where you are, that's where you are at. It's just a fact. So in general, remember, do no harm, and don't encourage others to do harm either, especially to themselves. 4. Be a positive influence on others. Sure, it is best to be a leader and to show people how things are done and to ask people to assist you. But sometimes it is required to be a boss and to tell people exactly what needs to be done and command their obedience. It is best to ask before telling. It is best to try being a leader first, and then if leading fails, then be a boss. But always with the right goal or objective in mind. Never a negative end. I have seen too many people trying to encourage serious harm onto others, and even people to encourage harm on themselves. And this is indicative of what MJ says when he talks about the internet making even the basest forms of human degeneracy worse. Yes, it is as if being separated from others in a physical sense. It is as if people are using the anonymity and the distance created by the computer and the internet to encourage the worst possible behavior in others. Never encourage a human being to check themselves out. We are all on the raggedy edge here. Don't push me, and I won't push you. Remember what the captain said. And also remember, we all have something to contribute. Even the worst psychopaths have teachings for the rest of us. Keep in mind, as they have said in Star Trek, imagine a society where no great poet labors away and never writes. Also imagine a society where no great builder is writing terrible poetry. Imagine the best in humanity. Imagine the best in yourself. Imagine the best in others. Imagine it. And then will it into existence. Yours truly, M.